Did you know Big Paintball has a sequel? Big Paintball 2, which used to have over 10,000 of CCU, which by now dropped to a few thousands. But despite the thousands of players, this game has been pretty forgotten. You would probably barely hear anyone speak about this game. And not many send any trading lists or offers in the trading channel of the official Big Games Discord server. So let's take a look on this game and see what's happening with it right now. So let's start with a short description of what the game is. Big Paintball 2 released on the 14th of October, 2023. Before that, it was on a beta which anyone could access with some Robux. You would get a badge, which shows us that over 100,000 of people paid for the early access. That shows players were hyped for this game, and you would also get the ability to buy the special early access crate with exclusive guns. The game had only 2 updates. First one coming from Big Games with the Halloween update that added the limited time haunted crate, and the second update, which was a part of the hunt event, which only added a small task to get the badge. Sadly, the game never really got any more updates, at least from what we can see in the game news channel of the official Discord server, and that explains why player count dropped pretty quickly after the release. So I want to start with the fact that Big Paintball 2 has a lot of bots. And those aren't just basic bots, they are created by Big Games themselves. If we use a Wayback Machine, we can see that server size for the game used to be 18, but later has been changed to just 10. So why did I mention bots? Well, if you join a game and check player list, you'll probably see around 7 players, like in my case. But if you check Big Games player list, you'll see more than 10 players, or in this case, 12 players, which should not be possible with the 10-player server sizes. You might think this is some kind of bug, or these players don't do anything, but you'll be wrong. If you search up change logs for the updates of Big Paintball 2, you will find out that the bots were added back on the 5th of April, and that's also when the server size was changed. The change log is not official, but is written in a wiki. So I decided to check how the bots actually behave in this game myself. I joined a new server and took a look on the player list. So it seems like bots usually are only in one team mainly. This have happened to me already when testing. In my opinion, it's kind of weird, because that would basically give the team with least bots an advantage. The reason I say advantage is because these bots don't actually do anything. When you tag them, you will get the credits and tag counted, but the message won't pop up about you tagging the bot, unlike normal players. So the bots kind of exist, and do not exist on the same time for the game. If you can tag the bots, can they tag you? Well, let's start with the fact that the bots might not be very smart and won't even try to shoot you most of the time. But even if one does try to tag you, nothing will happen. So the bots cannot tag players, and most of the time won't even try to do that. They basically exist here without interfering the game, and the only way they affect the rounds is that players can tag them to get more tags. Some of the bots will even have VIPs to make it look more realistic, as well as different guns. I actually tried to search up one of the bots' name and it gave me no results. That means the names for the bots are generated by the game, and players with these usernames might not exist on Roblox at all. And as you guessed, that means the player count of the game does not get affected by these bots. If you check the servers for Big Paintball 2, it actually looks pretty good since Big Games made bots that are inbuilt into the game instead of accounts that join the servers. I'm guessing they were made to make the game easier, especially for the new players. Was this a good change? Probably not, since the game is meant to be a competitive shooter, and with bots, the competition part does get ruined. This allows players to earn credits a lot faster, since we know the bots can't do anything to the player. And now I want to talk about a different thing that keeps some players playing the game, and it's trading. The game has multiple different cases, with 2 of them being limited, and that's enough to have some kind of economy in this game. All of the cases actually have guns that do not show up on the list, the contraband rarity guns. There are 6 of them in the game, and all of them have their own special abilities. And then we got a long list of other guns that are either epic or legendary. Some of them are Robux guns, and other are limited like the Halloween or early access ones. And with all of that, you can probably imagine how the economy exists in this game. Now, despite thousands of players playing this game daily, the trading channel in the official Big Games Discord server isn't really that active, but that doesn't mean the trading community of the game isn't active. You can still find value lists that have values for different guns, different values for different cereals, and pretty much every gun in the game, even rare rarity guns, which is kind of surprising. And the thing is that the value list was updated November this year, which is when this video is out. This does really show that the game has a trading community, and despite the game getting only one actually serious update, which was the Halloween event, many still like to trade in here. But even with all of this, the game is still pretty much forgotten by many who even used to play it or paid for beta testing. It has been long enough since any news about the game, and because of that, more and more people were forgetting about it. But if the game didn't stop updating, we could have seen something interesting being added. If you go the menu and then click on the streaks, you will find something that developers never added to the game. You can unequip and equip your streaks, and there is a reason behind that. There is an owned section and for sale section. Both of these do pretty much nothing, but you could guess that there were plans to add more streaks than the 4 original ones. But since the update only got one major update, this have never happened and will never happen since the game is pretty much forgotten by the developers and they would have no reason to come back to it. A fun fact about Big Paintball 2. There used to be a speedrun leaderboard where you would have to get a nuke as fast as possible. Not many actually recorded their runs, as you can see, but that was something that also could have been big, but never became big. With time, the game was made easier. They added more rewards and the bots to the game. Big Game's new Big Paintball 2 won't be updated anymore, so they decided to just make it simpler for those who will begin playing it. That way, the game could actually keep more players playing it even without any updates. And since this is a shooter game, unlike simulators, it doesn't need to update to keep the players pretty much. And as of other things, such as streaks and more events like the Halloween one, sadly, we will never see what the full potential of Big Paintball 2 was meant to be. And now it's just a forgotten by many sequel that Big Games released just about a year ago. Have you played Big Paintball 2 before? And if you did, what are your thoughts on the game? Did you also forget about it over time because of not hearing any news about it? Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. Join my Discord server. You can chat with me and other members. The link is in description, and I will see you soon.